I used to work at Nintendo until 2013. I was with them before that, but I had to go into witness protection and change my name when I created the Virtual Boy. Nobody noticed I was the same person when I came back though. I guess they just didn't like me. I decided to keep my head down and work on the code for Wario's overalls, but there's only so much of that a man can take, so I went to my boss with an idea. This is a Nintendo Switch. It came out after the second console I created. You see, it has one fundamental flaw. You can play it as a tablet or you can play it on the TV, but you can't do both at the same time, and that is where the Wii U wins. This console is just not as good, so I have no idea where I went wrong with the Wii U. The Nintendo Wii U, the console that most people who bought it in 2012 said, "At least I don't have arthritis." This is the little blip in Nintendo's history that, just like the Virtual Boy, they would rather you forget. But unlike the Virtual Boy, it isn't obscenely expensive, so that's why I've got one today. When it comes down to it, the Wii U isn't that bad. Nintendo just didn't know how to market the thing, and I mean, you can't blame people for thinking this is just a tablet add-on for the Wii. The general public aren't oppressed gamers like us, they don't know our struggle, but you can tell from Nintendo's marketing that they didn't even know how to present this thing to us. Most people aren't watching Nintendo's E3 presentation every year, and they shouldn't have to know there is a new Nintendo console coming out. So what is the Wii U? It's a tablet add-on for the Wii to make it so you can... oh, wait, no. It's the Wii 2, basically, and I don't know why they didn't call it the Wii 2. Everyone had a Wii, you slap a number 2 at the end of that, and everyone would go buy it. It worked for PlayStation, it worked for Shrek, it worked for the World Wars, so there is no reason it wouldn't have worked here. You gotta give credit where credit is due though. My mum knew what a Wii U was, but then again, it was the only thing I wanted for Christmas in 2012, so I would be worried if she didn't know what a Wii U was. I just hope this is a trend, because I think if the next generation Switch console is unveiled and it's called the Switch U, everybody will lose their minds. The Wii U only sold about 13.5 million units, which sounds like a lot, and to be fair, it is higher than the population of Belgium, but the Wii sold 101 million units, and that kind of puts things into perspective. But aside from bad marketing, there has to be more reasons that the Wii U failed, so I'm going to go over 3 of them and compare them to... arthritis, son of a bitch. Whenever a new system is unveiled, we get to look at all the gigaflops of energy and how many times Warzone can fit on the internal storage, but with a Nintendo system, we don't get that, and that's actually more important when you think about it, because it means they are all about the games. Sure, I wish Switch games looked better, and I always wanted the Wii to be in HD. It should have got a revision with a HDMI port after at least 2008. But at the end of the day, we get our Nintendo consoles for the Nintendo games. But the Wii U came out just a year before the PS4 and Xbox One, and was pretty comparable to the 360 and the PS3. The Switch has an excuse. It's a tablet. The Wii U, it was meant to be Nintendo's next generation system, and it did have amazing exclusive games, which I love, but the fact is, it was so underpowered, it kept third-party developers quite far away from it, and that brings me on to my next point. Yeah, great exclusives are one thing, but you still need third-party support to make your consoles sell. Do you really think the PS4 would have sold over 100 million consoles if it didn't have FIFA and Call of Duty on it every year? Of course not. Exclusive games are only coming out every few months for the most case, so you need to sprinkle in a little bit of everything in between to keep people engaged in your system. And early on, we started to notice something worrying with the Wii U. 1. The third-party games were generally on par with the 360 and PS3 versions, and 2, the games were scarce. The Wii U had a pretty different console architecture to everything else. So did the PS3, but it was PlayStation 3, so developers made it work. This was the system with the small install base, scarcely bought, confusing mess, the Wii U. So if you had to dedicate time and resources to a port of the game that looks outdated compared to the more relevant consoles, as a game developer, are you going to support that console? I mean, at least Ubisoft did for a while. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and Ghosts are a couple of Wii U games that always confused me. I mean, on the one hand, the Wii got basically all of the COD games of that generation, but they always had caveats to them that kind of made them unique, especially because you used the Wii remote to play them. Call of Duty on the Wii U was just Call of Duty on the Xbox 360, with a fraction of the player base. The versions were on par with each other pretty much, except the decision to give Wii U players no DLC. It probably just wasn't worth it. But what is confusing is that by the time Advanced Warfare came around, it was still being released for last gen systems. but not on the Wii U. Like the PS3 and 360 were on their way out at this point, the Wii U should have been hitting its stride in 2014. Who are the most important gamers? I'll give you 4 options and let you decide. People who only play sports games, people who only play first-person shooters, people who only play party games, or number 4, people who only play all 3. Yeah, that's right, you guessed correctly, it's Fortnite players. Without casual players, a console is doomed. Don't believe me? How many people do you know that owned an N-Gage who also follow the NFL? Exactly. To a lot of a console's core audience, your FIFAs and Call of Duties are just common muck that they're too good for. Or I guess you could be like me and like everything. I never claimed to be credible. The people who buy these games, however, whether you like it or not, are the backbone of the console's sales numbers, and like I said, COD only got 2 installments on the console. Battlefield is a little more hardcore gamer scene, but it got no Wii U representation, and there is only FIFA 13 on this console. FIFA 15 came to the Wii, but EA couldn't even muster up the courage to stick their copy and paste game on a platform when it is a game series that is notorious for being on absolutely everything. And let me tell you, that Wii U left a bad taste in EA's mouth because they still don't trust the Switch and it's a runaway success. I personally don't think the Wii U is that bad, but that's the thing, after the initial marketing blunder, Nintendo couldn't get these things in people's hands. The damage was done, and it wasn't just so easy for them, but the Wii U has some amazing exclusives, and I'm gonna blast through a few of them now. Nintendo Land, this would have been the Wii Sports of the Wii U if the Wii U wasn't a train wreck. I have such a fondness for this game, and that's because if you got a Wii U for the holidays in 2012, you probably got a system packaged with Nintendo Land. This isn't a Wii U hidden gem because I'm sure everybody had it, but the wider audience for Nintendo fans, this is definitely a hidden gem because it's only the most hardcore of Nintendo fans that actually have a Wii U. It just got buried so quickly. It's essentially a really fun minigame collections of all things Nintendo. You've got Metroid, Luigi's Mansion, Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda, and even more. All the minigames are different. Some are single player, some are optional co-op, and some I've never got to play because you have to play them co-op, and I don't have that many friends. And I don't know anyone who wants to play the Wii U with me. There really is fun for the whole family here. It's just got that famous Nintendo charm and polish, while also being self-aware. It is a small minigame collection, but it's fantastic. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is not a game I expected to like. Yeah, now you have Ultimate, but this was £8 and Ultimate costs £40. There is actually still people playing online as well, which I found to be amazing. But at its core, it's a great Smash Bros. Game, and I'm one of those people who enjoy the single player aspect of Smash, probably not by choice, but I still go back to it, I'd say about once a week. It's fun. I can't talk about Mario 3D World because the eBay seller who I bought it off swears it worked in their Wii U, and I'm too lazy to send it back. But here's some footage of it not being emulated on my PC, and me not saying it's amazing, but it's probably best played on Switch. Yet again, not being emulated on my PC, that is not allowed. I'll wrap things up with Mario Kart 8. Just like everything else on the Wii U that has been ported to the Switch, it's better on Switch, but I like playing these games on the Wii U gamepad screen in bed because it's comfier than playing the Switch. There, I said it. And yeah, the whole Mario Kart experience is here, so I'm not complaining. So, just to recap, I am a scientist, and the Wii U may always be my best creation, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Apparently threatening to take down a company that fired you from the inside with excessive force is enough to get you put on a no-fly list. And I miss my family because they're in a different country, but a silver lining is I can get home if I just figure out how to get extradited.